While searching my YouTube channel home last night, I found this art challenge. Now this wasn't an open challenge to all, it was a commissioned challenge to 16 very talented artists. This challenge was proposed by artist and YouTuber ZHC. Let me show you how that video started.
I found 16 artists and commissioned them to finish my drawings. But they aren't just any drawings, they're 24-hour drawings. What they don't know is that I'm gonna triple the amount of money they ask for. So if they ask for $1,000, I'll give them $3,000 instead. Most artists spend around 6 hours on a drawing, so they will get 12 times the price of a normal commission. I have a $50,000 budget.
I'm sure you can see how exciting this prospect could be for any artist. Sadly, after watching this video, I realized that I was a little too late to be selected. And even if I were an online presence at the time, which I wasn't, I mean, I might not have been the kind of artist Zach was looking to select. So like the Hulk and Bruce Banner, I started on my lonely path. The person who actually propositioned this idea for a 24-hour challenge goes by the name of Zach, and his YouTube channel is ZHC. If you guys haven't watched it, go check it out. But anyways, here's a clip of what I'm talking about, and let me make some room for you guys so you guys can see. But right here you're gonna see a clip of just a little bit of what that was all about. And he pretty much gathers about 16 artists together and basically gives them a 24-hour challenge to draw his character daxx in their own fashion. And as I saw it, you know, the money was cool, I mean, obviously, right? But it really wasn't that. It was just the idea to be included in something like that seems pretty cool. And the guys that were selected were really great artists. If you guys haven't seen this, because I'm not going to play the whole thing, but if you guys haven't seen it, the link will be down below. Check him out. He's got a great YouTube channel. He's got a great following. And all the other artists that are on here, outstanding artists. So I know they're mentioned in that video. Take a look at them too, because they deserve it. But I wanted to be part of it. I thought, man, that would have been fun. And it sucks that it's done now. But I told myself, you know what? I got my own channel. Why can't I do it? So I went ahead and put myself to the task. So I was like, you know what? Let's get it on. So 24-hour challenge. Let's go. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Madcatt art series. In this art series, we're going to be doing a challenge, the 24-hour challenge proposed by Zach of ZHC YouTube channel. He had drawn 5 different positions on thumbnails. I chose the one where he was supposed to be fighting someone. Let's get into this thing. So initially I started with some thumbnails of my own, and once I got the one that I wanted, I went ahead and took my thumbnail into my scanner, scanned it, blew it up, and then made a bigger picture of it. This way I didn't lose any of the dynamicness of the pose, and also I was working against time, so I wanted to give myself a little edge. So I blew that up, transferred it onto the paper that I was working on, just the outline, and then I continued from there. One of the things I realized is that I didn't have a timer kind of visible for you guys to see, and I apologize. I'm working on getting better at this, but I promise you the time is exactly what it was supposed to be. The thumbnails took me about 35 minutes to kind of get an idea of what I wanted, and then once I transferred everything, it was about maybe 45 minutes of work into this piece. Now, even though I had a thumbnail and had my little reference there, it didn't come with all the muscle structure. So here I'm literally doing everything as if I were drawing it from the very beginning. One of the biggest questions I get asked is, how do you remember all the muscles? And the truth is that I really don't. I mean, I've drawn them enough to where I can make them kind of look insinuated that they exist and this is how they're supposed to be, but not everything is completely 100% anatomic. Practice. Yeah, that's the short answer. Practice, practice, practice. Now, I know you guys are probably thinking, it took you 45 minutes to get sketches, but I was actually working on costume design as well because, you know, there's not a lot of reference that I can just take from the internet like you could a Spider-Man or, you know, a Doctor Strange or whatever. So I had to create my own kind of feel for the character first, and also I had to design some of the, you know, the costume design, so it had my own flair to how I perceived the costume of daxx. The other thing is that there's no real origin story that I understand or know of yet, and so for me, me, I kind of have to have things figured out, or I can't draw it. It's a weird quirk that I have, but for me, I got to answer that question, why? So I took some liberties here, and I hope Zach doesn't hang me for this, but I needed, as an artist, to know these things just because it inspires, and inspiration leads to finished product for me. So I took a lot of inspiration from kind of the Aztec pyramids and the Aztec, deal, because like I don't know if daxx turns into daxx. How does it kind of happen? Why does it happen? Did he find a magical shard? Is it the medallion on his belt buckle? I don't know. So for me, I need to kind of imagine what it is, and I'm sure it's probably out there, I just don't know. Drawing his face was fun. I mean, he's kind of an alien-like creature, or, he's definitely some sort of mutant or extraterrestrial being, but I enjoyed drawing him. Really fun. And I really had a lot of fun working on the extra details of costume design. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing with the exception of that, like I said, I added a little Aztec element to it, and I really had a lot of fun with the extra because it allowed for me to really kind of enjoy some creativity, which is fun. And you guys, as viewers, you guys will get to see a different side or a different conceptual that makes it also not stagnant or static all the time. That's why when we see new Spider-Man costumes or even just new Spider-Man characters, it's really fun. I mean, how many of you guys love Miles Morales as Spider-Man? I know that I do. I think it's such a cool take on an already awesome character. I'll tell you what wasn't fun though, drawing the chains. God, it's like drawing spider webs. It's worse because spider webs don't have any kind of rhyme or reason. Chains, unlike spider webs, do. So yeah, that wasn't fun at all. And there was, God, I don't know if there were hundreds, but it felt like it. But in all honesty, I really like to be pushed. And little details like chains really pushes me because you can do some dynamic things with accessories like a chain, weapon, or whatever. And so I told myself, how can I push the envelope with this chain weapon? So I really wanted to make it like it was alive, like it was a character of its own, as if it were an extension of Daxx's mind or will. So I pushed this chain in and out of 3D and 2D space to really make it look like it was alive. So here we're about, I would say, 2.5 hours in, and I started working on where the shadows went. I'm also trying to define the chains. As we skip forward, you can see that there's been a lot of rendering work done, and this took quite a bit of time. I would say I'm probably on hour number 5 or 6. In this section of the drawing, I'm definitely tightening up all my pencils. Everything is crisp and clean, and I'm trying to make it perfect here. As you can see on the bottom, I actually added Zach and Michelle. Now I know initially I was going for a image where Daxx was fighting another character, but it started taking on a shape of its own, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go for a comic book cover. So I went for a comic book cover theme instead. With the pencils finished, we are at 9.5 hours in. I'll tell you what, guys, I've been enjoying the process. So next we go to the color stage. Now I didn't digitally record any of the actual process of the coloring, so you guys are just going to see the manipulation as it happens, but I can tell you it took me the rest of the time. By the time I was done with all the coloring, we were at hour 21. And with a few hours to spare, I went ahead and made this actually into a cover. Well, I hope the crew at ZHC really like what I've done, and maybe consider me for the next one. But until then, make sure you guys check out his channel. It's really cool. Link will be on the bottom, and yeah, check that out. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I apologize for all the dog barking in the back. My dogs were going nuts. So until next time, thank you, and keep drawing.